a good thing. It's reason to be happy. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for coming to our Young Adult service, which happens to be the last Young Adult service. But we've got a great service lined up for you. So let's start with some music. I'd like to invite up the band. Let's give them a big round of applause.
So you can rise to sing as the day. So I'm not used to having to speak. I'm usually just chilling with the bass.
stay standing and recite pledges number 7 and 8. Family pledge number 7. Our family, the owner of Chonoguk, pledges for living for the sake of others, to perfect the world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. Number 8. Our family, the owner of Chonoguk, pledges, having entered the era of Chonoguk, to achieve the ideal of God and human beings united in love, through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and to perfect the realm of liberation and complete freedom in the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven by centering on true love. Thank you. Take a seat. Let's just pray together now. Dear Heavenly Parent, good afternoon. Thank you so much for this day, this Sunday, where we can all come together as brothers and sisters, as a family, to offer this time to you. It's a precious time, Heavenly Parents. It's only once a week that we have this opportunity to actually spend time thinking about you, thinking about our lives, thinking about where we're at the moment. Heavenly Parents, it's that moment of reflection where we can try to connect to your love, to your truth, try to seek out your guidance, and understand your will for us. So often, Father, in our really busy and hectic lives, it's easy to forget you, Heavenly Parent. I know that happens to me a lot, Heavenly Parent. I really pray, though, that this time we can really invite you to be with us now. We can offer our hearts to you. We can open our hearts to you, to the message you want to share with us today. So thank you so much for your many blessings. We're very blessed and sometimes take that for granted, but I really pray we can always cultivate this kind of gratitude and spread our blessings amongst those all around us. So thank you again, and pray for each person here. We can really have an amazing week ahead of us. So I offer you now this prayer, and pray this on behalf of everyone here. My name is Sam Marie and Kim, Central Blessed Couple, Archie. All right, welcome everyone again. Good afternoon. Good to see you all. Great. So, as I was saying before, this is actually the last young adults service. And you're like, why? What is going on? Don't worry. The young adults ministry is kind of evolving. It's changing. It's not going away. Hopefully, it will somehow, its role will expand throughout our movement here in the UK. As you know, we have a new national leader, Matthew Hewish. I'm sure most of you do know him. And he's got, a lot of ideas. He's young. He's got a young family, and lights going up. And I think it's really kind of a good step forward for our movement here in the UK to kind of inject this youth and new ideas, new energy into what we're doing. And so I know Hyangi has been talking a lot with Matthew and with other members of the Young Adults Committee, discussing how can we support and serve the young adults of our community better. And that's actually something that's Matthew is going to be talking about today. He's not actually here in person, but he's recorded a video sermon for us. So I've never had a video sermon before. I'm kind of looking forward to it. If anyone was there, was anyone there at the annual Gathering Festival this year? Yeah, okay. It's better recorded than his message at the annual Gathering Festival, where he kind of took a massive shot of his face and it was like kind of on his phone randomly. Anyway, so properly recorded this time, and he's going to be sharing with us kind of his ideas, his vision, his thoughts for young adults in the UK. And of course, he wants you to be part of it. This is the whole thing. It's not like Matthew's now the leader. He's dictated what to do. Let us obey and follow, kind of thing. No, right? That's not how it's going to work. It's not going to grow. Things aren't going to change like that. I think he really wants to listen. Actually, as far as I've experienced, he's been listening a lot to a lot of different people recently. And so I think he really wants to listen to you and your opinions. And he just wants to share his ideas now with you and, see what you think of it and, get your input as well. So looking forward to that. That should be, pretty good. So we've got some announcements now. Great. Annual Gathering Festival. So I saw a few hands in the crowd there. We had a great Annual Gathering Festival this year. It was the first time that we made it a 2-day event. And I think it went really well. Like about 100 people stayed for the second day. A lot of people stayed. Lots of activities and sports. And we had a kind of opening and closing ceremony. It's quite different from your usual Annual Gathering. But I think it was, everyone kind of appreciated that extra time to spend together, all the different activities and things to do to kind of bond together as a community from across the country. Like, don't always see people for a long time. So we've got a video, short video, 2-minute video to show you, sort of like a summation, sort of like, not a promo, but kind of like it give you a taste of how it was. Yeah.
Wake up and smell the roses and keep your spirit clean. They'll make you into woven with a fabricated dream. Some people act in trouble and wrapped up in beliefs. Nothing lasts forever except the selfless silent sea. And I'm alive, yes I'm alive, and I'm walking on fire. Listen to your heartbeat and see what you find. As you're alive, yes you're alive, and you're walking on fire. Listen to me honey, it'll all be alright. Tranquil is the spirit who only speaks to those who see. Never hesitate to give love to those you meet. Home is where the heart is, and it's such a humble beat. Many troubled souls are still searching for the key. But I'm alive, yes I'm alive, and I'm walking on fire. Listen to your heartbeat and see what you find. 'Cause you're alive, yes you're alive, and you're walking on fire. Listen to me honey, it'll all be alright. And if your soul should slip through your hands, well just give thanks for the gift that is now. 'Cause you have always been and will always be. Oh, 'cause you're the apple and I am the tree. 'Cause I'm alive, yes I'm alive, and I'm walking on fire. Listen to your heartbeat and see what you find. 'Cause you're alive, yes you're alive.
I think our Heavenly Parent is incredibly uplifted, God's heart is comforted, and God is feeling a lot of joy from sharing this time with you, with the brothers and sisters. And also this is something we can offer to our true parents to bring joy to them as well. And this is the motto of this Annual Gathering Festival, to return joy to God.
Thank you. It's really nice, right? I think Joanna made that. Joanna's always good making videos. So yeah, if you did miss it last year, or this year, what I'm talking about, but you did miss it this time, come next time. It's going to be good. And hopefully next time will be even better. Hopefully we'll have the weather working with us. This time we had a lot of rain, unfortunately, especially on the second day. We did manage to get some sports going, but yeah, we'd kind of pull things inside a bit. But yeah, I'm sure next year will be even better. Okay. Let's go to our next announcement. Yes, so just to tell you all about the mentoring program that we started again yesterday. This is the third mentoring program that we've run so far, third session. And we had maybe about 20, 25 people yesterday, mentors and mentees. And the program will go on for about 2 or 3 months. It's a really great program. It's been quite successful so far. Maybe if you're interested, you're like, oh, I could, be a mentor, or oh, I'd like a mentor, I want to be a mentee, then maybe think about when it's going to be run the next time. Keep your your eye out and maybe come along. But yeah, it was a really nice gathering. So great. Okay. So finally, after the service today, we're going to have a picnic in the park, and hopefully some frisbee, maybe for anyone who feels up for it. So everyone's invited, of course, and hopefully we can just spend some time together, enjoy each other's company. You don't always get to see each other. Yeah. So, also, last thing, who watched the rugby yesterday? Anyone? Well done, Wales. Congratulations. Oh, England just lost. But anyway, it's quite exciting. So I don't know if anyone's following the Rugby World Cup, but it's pretty cool. Okay, great. We'll go on to now our next couple songs before we hear from Matthew. Let's invite the band up again. And if you'd like to stand.
Okay, and again.
Sing the Lord, Hosanna to the Lord. Offer everything with humble heart. Come and tell the Lord our rejoicing, who brings delight to all the world. Let us go to tell them to sing of the promised glory of the Lord. They will sing new songs in the garden, songs of freedom and with happiness. They will sing the songs in the garden, songs of freedom bright with happiness. There are clouds of darkness on the path, single light enveloping the land. Brush the clouds aside and behold the light that shines in beauty everywhere. Let us run to eternity, seek and find the new world of joyfulness and peace. They will sing new songs in the garden, songs of freedom bright with happiness. They will sing new songs in the garden, songs of freedom bright with happiness. Oh my God, so rejoice today, you who sing a song of our new life. Offer praise and high bless forevermore as chosen people of the Lord. Let us go to eternity, sing and find all the brilliant glory of our King. They will sing new songs in the garden, songs of freedom bright with happiness. They will sing new songs in the garden, songs of freedom bright with happiness. We uphold the standard of the Lord to restore His true ideal. Really give your love, shed the blood.
Next song is Be Thou My Vision. Next song is Be Thou My Vision. From Joan Stevens.
Thank
Okay. So you may be wondering where Matthew is. He's actually in Finland at the moment. That's why he couldn't make it. So I'm sure he's sorry about that. But yeah, let's now hear Matthew and his videos.
So, hi everyone, this is your national leader, Matthew Jewish, speaking to you. I want to deliver a message called Mission 2020. We're all very familiar, I hope, with the idea of Vision 2020, but I want to speak about Mission 2020 today. I feel like our community is going through a crisis right now. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like there is a crisis in your personal life of faith? Do you feel that there is a crisis taking place maybe in your own family? Do you see brothers and sisters, or perhaps your parents or relatives, your friends in the community, are we going through a crisis? My own opinion on that is yes, we are. Nevertheless, I don't want us to feel like this crisis such a bad thing. In fact, I believe that this crisis presents to us an incredible opportunity. Now, what am I talking about? Why have I started this message about crisis? And maybe some of you are thinking to yourself, what crisis? Well, you know, there are all sorts of difficulties and challenges that we might be facing right now. Our community is aging. We, in this country at least, are facing the challenge of replacing many of our incredibly motivated and devoted elders who need to retire. And these are elder brothers and sisters who have dedicated decades of their life to attending God and attending True Parents in expanding the mission here in this country. And they are getting old. It's a natural thing in life. They are wanting to retire, and yet we're finding difficulty in replacing them. That's one challenge that we're facing. But again, another generational challenge that we might be facing is the reality that many members and indeed many families in our communities have burdens on our shoulders from these decades of devotion. The course that we have gone has meant that there may be a lot of pain in the hearts of certain individuals, or there may be a collective pain in a particular family. Perhaps these are burdens that cannot be easily shared with a community, and so maybe people feel quite alone. A family might feel lonely in their journey as they try to cope with the challenges that they may be facing. These challenges may present themselves in terms of physical sickness, or perhaps even spiritual or mental sickness, or perhaps even financial sickness as well, that we're not so well off, that we're struggling, we're experiencing challenges. And I want to acknowledge that. There are other challenges as well, which are beyond our control, beyond our influence. And I'm sure that the politics which are taking place in our community, perhaps locally, perhaps nationally, on a European level, and even all the way up to the top of our hierarchical organization, there are tensions and changes which are sometimes confusing, which are sometimes worrying, and we may be presented with a crisis in how to respond to that. As I've mentioned previously, I look at these crises, I look at these tensions, I look at these challenges, and I see opportunities. Now, I am keenly aware that these challenges may also be obstacles to many of us. They may be the straw that breaks the camel's back. We might be, some of us might be under intense pressure, and we're just hanging in there, and some experience happens, or some news reaches our ears which just makes us feel like giving up or throwing in the towel. Maybe the culture in our community just feels so stuck, so stagnated. We feel it's impossible to change things. It's impossible to move things forward. I want to acknowledge that. I want to say, I know what that feels like. And yet, I strongly feel like we are in a fantastic position right here, right now, to take things forward and start a new mission. My message today is basically inviting you to accept a commission. This is this message. Mission 2020. I want to talk about a mission that I want every single one of you to be able to take up as your own. That every single one of you will become missionaries. Now, maybe already now you're thinking, hang on, I'm not signing up to become a missionary. What's Matthew talking about? Let me explain myself. Maybe some of you heard the message which I recorded for the annual gathering. Maybe you were there and you saw it at Cleave House, or maybe you saw the video online. Maybe if this video also goes up onto YouTube or something like that, you can check out the link for the old message which I delivered at the annual gathering, where I presented a vision for this country. And that vision can be summarized by 3 words beginning with the letter C: church, charity, and commerce. I wanted to present a vision based on the 3 great blessings, where we as a movement and we as a nation can go to. I wanted to paint a picture in our imagination of the kind of community that we could create, where we create a church of holy individuals, where we create charity in the family and in the society, and where we build up a strong commercial foundation based on ethical economics. So that's a summary of the message I delivered at the annual gathering. Those 3 ideas, church, charity, and commerce, are a boiled down, distilled summary of a vision statement that I want to offer to our UK families, to our UK community. What I want to offer to you now today is a mission statement. Again, I'm going to use some alliteration, and I'm going to use 5 points. I'm going to choose 5 words that begin with the letter R to communicate a mission that I want all of you, I'm inviting all of you to become missionaries in these 5 areas. So what am I talking about? Firstly, the first R is returning joy to God and true parents. Secondly, relating intimately. Thirdly, raising tribal leaders. The 4th letter R is reaching the world. And the last one, a little bit of a cheat, but it's giving rebirth, there's the R word, giving rebirth through the holy marriage blessing. So I'm going to go through those 5 letter R's one by one and invite you to participate in this mission which I want our whole UK community to work towards. Firstly, returning joy to God and true parents. This is the purpose of creation. The divine principle teaches us that the purpose of the universe with human beings at its center is to return joy to God. And this is not something that we simply do on a Sunday morning when we gather together, or on a Sunday afternoon, whenever our worship service might be. Of course, that worship service should be a time, a dedicated time for the sake of making God happy. That's why we come together, to sing songs and pray and receive a message. Why? Not for our own education, not for our own good feelings and meeting friends. Fundamentally, our worship services are for returning joy to God. Personally, I think we need to develop our worship culture. I feel like many of our worship services in many of our communities have a lot of improvement needed. I'm not saying they're bad worship experiences. We have beautiful communities, and they're all different, and I don't think we should have uniformity. I think difference is good. Nevertheless, there's a lot that we can do to improve our worship experience, and I feel fundamentally many of us need to learn and develop the ability to really let go and love God in the worship experience. But returning joy to God doesn't just take place once a week. It should be the whole of our lives should be about returning joy to God. And it's about developing a culture in my life, in my family, and in my community, a culture whereby we're constantly seeking to return joy to God, finding ways to bring a victory, to bring a result, to overcome some hurdle or barrier in order to bring joy to God. Sometimes that process is not a joyful process. We need to go through suffering, we need to go through hardship, and there may be some tears or difficulty involved. But the goal is to then create something good, something that embodies beauty, truth, and goodness that we can return back to God. Make God happy, make our true parents happy. And by extension, that would make the whole world happy. I feel like this is our mission. God created us with the mission to create goodness in our lives so that we can return joy to God. For many of us, we will be returning joy to God through our studies, that by being excellent students and getting the best grades possible, or doing research in new fields that has never been done before, we will be pioneering a path for returning joy to God in a unique way that nobody has ever done before. Or maybe through our hobbies, through our social activities. Maybe you're involved in a university club or society, or you're involved in some other community activity. Those can all be ways of returning joy to God. I felt incredible pride being able to get involved in my school's orchestra or my school's rugby team. For me, those experiences, whenever we performed a concert or whenever we won a rugby match, it was the most glorious experience. I remember actually my school rugby team that I was a part of, we weren't that good. We lost many games. The victories were rare. But I remember one time when we defeated a local rival. And when we got back into the changing rooms, we started singing one of our Catholic hymns. It was in Latin. It was called Salve Regina. Salve Regina, Mater Misericordiae. It was really silly. But all the lads somehow united in this sense of victory that we wanted to sing this song. Now, I'm not sure how much, how sincere the lads were in terms of singing their praises to Mother Mary or to God, but the idea there of being able to celebrate even a rugby victory by offering it to God is what I'm trying to communicate right now. Now, for many of us, whatever we do, even the small things in life, the small details, God is interested in them. God cares about the small details of our life, and we should be able to return joy to God in everything we do. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about returning joy to God in a moment. I want to return to that idea because I'm inviting you to accept this mission to return joy to God, and I want to elaborate on it a little bit more. But first, I want to go to the second mission of the mission statement, which is to relate intimately. I invite you to accept the mission of relating intimately with each other. This requires us to foster genuine community in our relationships amongst each other as brothers and sisters, also fostering fellowship within our own families, within the relationship maybe with our parents or siblings. If you're married, especially you want to foster intimacy and relate deeply with your spouse. If you have children, obviously you want to foster intimacy there as well. So what I want to invite you to do is to relate intimately with people around you. And we have a profound theology about love. We have a profound theology about intimacy. We are blessed with the four great realms of heart, an understanding of these four great loves. That love is different in different environments. That there is a love that a child has for the child's parents or the child's elders. There is a heart of a fraternal heart between siblings, between friends. And this is a powerful concept which I feel especially is missing in the world today. That the world And maybe you've experienced this amongst your contemporaries, amongst your peers in school or in your social circles. Maybe you've experienced that we don't actually know how to be true friends with each other, especially with members of the opposite sex, that we don't know how to be a true brother or a true sister, that in our contemporary society there's a lot of confusion there. However, I feel like we have a powerful idea to liberate us, to become true friends. And then, of course, on the foundation of the filial heart and the fraternal heart, we can then develop the conjugal heart and the parental heart. And these four realms of love should foster intimacy, not just in the family, but we should be able to use the experience of love within the family to expand to the rest of the world. How do most of us experience intimacy? Maybe some of us actually experience lack of intimacy. Maybe some of us feel quite lonely. Some of us may feel that there's a big hole in our heart where we crave intimacy, but we're not receiving it. Maybe we crave it and we don't even know that we crave it. We're not aware of this need. I think when I reflect on myself, I did not appreciate how much I needed God-centered fellowship until I created those kinds of relationships. For whatever reasons, I didn't have many friends at school, and I didn't have many friends in the church growing up. But now I try to make friends with anybody possible, to be a good friend to them and to accept their friendship too, and to foster genuine intimacy where one makes oneself vulnerable, where one is able to share one's heart freely and openly, and not feel afraid of being judged or attacked, but also to be sensitive with the hearts of others as they share freely and intimately. We need to be able to do this properly in the way that God wanted us to do. And so there's what I'm asking you to do is to be people sent by God to create God-centered intimacy, to relate with the people around you in our church community, but also with those around you in a true way. Now I'm going to pause there and reflect on the tension between returning joy to God and relating intimately, because fundamentally this is a perpendicular axis. The returning joy to God is a vertical relationship. It's about our faith in God. It's about our love for God. It's about cultivating a relationship where my life, even my identity, is defined by that relationship with God. But it's also shaped by my relationship with others. And actually, what I'm going to suggest is that through our horizontal relationships with each other as brothers and sisters, as friends, as peers, actually through the genuine true love that we can generate amongst each other through horizontal give and take action, the foundation can be created to restore our vertical relationship with God. I'm not making this up. This is from the divine principle. The divine principle clearly explains that through horizontal give and take action, the way to restore a vertical relationship with God can take place. That's powerful. That means by fostering intimacy, by relating with each other intimately, we are able to restore ourselves and restore our relationship with God, especially when those horizontal relationships are centered on God, that the purpose of them coming together is to be with God. I am aware that there is fear or confusion or a concern or a worry about the future of these young adult ministry worship services or the CARP Sunday service. I personally, I'm not interested in maintaining this service just for the sake of maintaining it. This is the last Young Adults Ministry Sunday service, and there may not ever be any more CARP Sunday services. And I know that by saying that, I might be worrying some of you, or even hurting some of you. If that's the case, I don't want to do that. That's not my intention. Please don't misunderstand me. The reason I want to do that is because I feel like I want to pursue these missions in the correct way, returning joy to God and relating intimately. And when I think about the reason that many people want to be together at the CARP Sunday service or the Young Adults Ministry Sunday service, For many people, the primary reason is to be with each other, right? I think that's what most people want. So it's not a bad thing that we want to see each other, that we want to spend time with each other. I'm just questioning the rationale that the primary purpose of these CARP services, young adult services, is fellowship. For me, it's a valid secondary purpose. It's important that in our community worship services that we can foster relationships amongst each other afterwards, and we can relate intimately with each other. If that's not happening after our worship experiences, then I'd be worried. But it's not the primary purpose. The primary purpose of the worship service for these CARP services, young adult services, is to return joy to God. And I want to make sure that that purpose is clearly understood, that everyone buys into that, and that we're able to come together and sing our hearts out to God, to pray prayers that move God, that create an experience whereby we can offer our lives and offer our victories, even offer our repentance to God. That this worship experience is about a community coming together to connect with our divine heavenly parent. So if the worship service is not the location where we foster intimacy, where we relate intimately, where can we do that? Basically, what I want to encourage all of us to do is to become members of home groups. That we create small groups of brothers and sisters who meet together on a regular basis to foster fellowship. That we relate intimately, ideally on a weekly basis, on a day that is not Sunday. So maybe some of you are already part of a Divine Principle study group, or a young men's group, or a young women's group, or maybe a couples group, or some group, a small group that meets regularly, maybe in your home or somebody else's home. And through that regular, consistent meeting with each other, you're able to relate intimately and generate a beautiful fellowship with one another. That the journey that you go on together over maybe 18 to 24 months becomes the highlights of your week. It becomes a support for you, an accountability for you to have somebody else check up on you and see how you're doing, but also you can serve them. And actually through these small groups, which I imagine will be created across the country, we will create a pastoral care system whereby every single person has a group of people to look after them. Now, of course, ideally, the family is the ideal small group, but we all need support, don't we? Our families need support. And so it's nice to meet up with our friends or with other members of faith and to talk about important things from our heart, to talk about our life experiences, but especially in light of what we study together, in light of the words that we read and discuss. So in our home groups, I hope that we can have God's words at the center of it, not for very long. We can read for just 5 to 10 minutes, then have a discussion about what we read afterwards, a meaningful, relevant discussion which connects to our everyday lives, and then just hang out and have fun with each other. That is where we will foster fellowship. That is where we will relate intimately, through home groups. If you are not part of a home group already, I am asking you to start one, or I'm asking you to meet up with some other friends, people you're close with, and decide together that you're going to create a home group. Then we hopefully won't need these CARP services or young adult services for the sake of relating intimately, because that purpose will be fulfilled through our home groups. Then it means that the worship services that we have can be fully dedicated towards returning joy to God, and that we don't need a demographic to return joy to God, that we can join with the whole community. Now, I'm quite prepared to, maybe in my own local community in Bromley, maybe once in a while we can host a dedicated student service where we invite students from around the country to come and have a student service there, where the whole service, the message and the experience is geared towards serving young adults. The other members of the community will be there too, but they will know and be aware that it's a service which is orientated towards ministering to young adults and students. We could maybe rotate communities around the country. We can have student services around the country once in a while. So I hope that that this fear that by taking something away, we're going to lose something. No, I want this taking away to actually be an opportunity. That by removing the young adults ministry service or not replacing it with a CARP Sunday service, actually we're creating an opportunity to create small groups and to beef up our local community worship experiences so that we can return joy to God and we can relate intimately. Those are the first two missions that I'm inviting you to accept. The third mission which I want you to accept is to raise tribal leaders. What I'm talking about here is tribal messiahship. This idea that every single one of us, if we go through our course of life, go through the spiritual path that we're following, we all become tribal messiahs. Now that word messiah may be confusing for some of us, and so I've simply changed the word to a tribal leader, that this is a question of leadership. And what do I mean by a tribe? Well, where is your tribe? Some of your tribe is your family, of course, becoming a leader within your family. Someone who can take responsibility for your parents or for your siblings or your relatives. Someone who has the emotional capacity or maybe financial capacity to serve and lead your family. But it's much broader than that. True parents have taught us that tribal messiahship is also about establishing leadership in a community. Maybe you become a neighborhood leader responsible for the homes around you. For many of us who are mobile and we migrate quite a lot, some of us, there's a lot of migration taking place in the young adult community of our unification movement. Our neighborhood is hard to define because we keep changing location. Maybe it's defined by our place of study or place of employment, that your university or college might be your tribal messiahship area, what traditionally we call the home church area. That is your locus of tribal messiahship, tribal leadership. You may want to exercise that leadership by getting involved in a club or society. Not just getting involved, but actually taking on a responsibility, maybe becoming elected as the president or the treasurer or an officer within a club or society. Maybe you want to demonstrate leadership by creating a new club or society. I started an interfaith society at University College London. Samuel Reed started a debating society at Goldsmiths. So there's a precedent there for people who go into the university campus environment and exercise leadership by creating something new. Some of you might feel inspired to do that, but for others you will find your own unique way of doing that, of exercising tribal leadership. And then the university population, which is the tribe that you're trying to lead, will follow you. Not all of them, but some of them will. Maybe at work, if you have a job, you can exercise tribal leadership there. Trying to serve and lead your colleagues or the people you're serving, the people that you meet. Basically, I want to encourage you to think about, where is your tribe? Is your tribe maybe your local football club supporters circle of friends? Maybe you have you're a fan of a musical band and you've got a group of friends who like to go gigging together, or maybe you're interested in a particular hobby or activity where you meet with other people. That is your tribe too, and I want to encourage you to become a leader of that tribe. But actually, the letter R, which I'm referring to here, is raising tribal leaders. This is a question of education. A lot of us aren't really sure about what tribal messiahship means. Maybe it's a nice idea, but maybe for some of us it's not a goal we aspire to accomplish. Even if we did want to become a tribal messiah, we don't know how to do it. So we need education. We need testimonies of people who have been victorious in this area, but also we need understanding, and we need to equip ourselves with an understanding and an awareness of how to become a tribal leader. So I want to create an education department, and the primary goal of that education department will be to raise up a community of tribal leaders. That this education department will educate everybody, whatever their starting position might be, eventually to the goal of becoming a leader in their tribe. Ultimately, all of us should then be able to bequeath that leadership to others and raise up new leaders. If you find yourself in a position of responsibility within our community, it's your responsibility to raise up the people who will replace you. It's your responsibility to make sure that the next generation will be better equipped than we were. Ultimately, we will all become parents. We will all raise a family and eventually grandparents too. And we want to raise our children to become leaders. We want to raise our grandchildren to become leaders. So we need to have powerful, effective education. I'm not just talking about classroom-based education where we sit down and listen to a person giving a divine principle lecture in front of a blackboard or in front of a projector. No, I'm talking about variety of education which can be delivered at home, in the workshop, in different environments, so that every single one of us can get the education we need to become a tribal Messiah and actually deliver that not just to our unificationist community, but to deliver that education to the nation. The fourth mission I'm inviting you to accept is to reach the world. What do I mean by that? Is serving the world. How do we reach the world? How do we reach out and embrace the world? It's by serving the world. I have some concern that we, as especially the young adults of our unificationist community, the second generation, the blessed children, and the other young unificationists who have been brought up on a diet of workshops, actually we are a generation of spiritual junkies, that we are hooked and addicted to the inward-looking experience, that we don't look out to the rest of the world. Now, of course, please don't misunderstand me. This is not yes, it is a sweeping generalization, and I'm aware that there are many people who are doing many great things in the societies around them, in the world, but there tends to be a lot of navel-gazing taking place in our community, where we are unable to really experience the living God outside of a workshop experience. When I was growing up, I was in school, and my level of joy and happiness would be defined by the holiday seasons where there would be a workshop. So I'd be pretty miserable, and then Easter, there's a great workshop, have a great experience, but then afterwards, comes back down, I have a bit of a crash, and then longing for my workshop hit. Summer comes along, I have a great workshop experience, I'm experiencing the love of God, I'm really happy. And then after the workshop, it maintains itself for a short time, and then I crash again. And the cycle continues, workshop after workshop. And my life in between the workshops is miserable and suffering, and I'm not experiencing the love of God, and my life of faith is quite limited. Maybe some of you are familiar with the kind of experience I'm describing here. And that's why I feel it's so important that instead of looking into our church community and thinking, where can I experience God's love here on the workshop experience or in the community experience, how can I experience the love of God out there? That's what True Father did. True Father went into the prisons. True Father went into the depths of hell, the places like Las Vegas and other places like that, trying to clean it up. True Father talks about how he wants to go to these uncomfortable places because he feels that's where he fulfills his purpose, that's where he fulfills his mission. I'm asking all of you to accept that mission too, to stop looking inwards, to stop looking, just for the love of God in our controlled bubble experiences, programs like Done or STF, where of course it's easy to experience the love of God when you're with people who believe the same things that you do and you're having great experiences together. I want us to learn how to discover the love of God in challenging situations, in the context of suffering, and learn how to overcome difficulties and suffering and bring victories for God there. But also to be able to lift up the rest of the world with us, that there are problems in our society that need to be addressed, and we can serve the world. And this is how the world will discover true parents. This is how the world will discover the unification movement, when we serve it. When the unification movement serves the world, when our local church communities are providing a service that solves the world's problems, that comforts the hearts of the people who are living in this country with us. There are many issues that you might want to pursue. You might want to create a program for refugees. The current migration crisis is significant politically and economically and socially for this country. And you may want to serve such refugees and find a way of giving them the love of God in that way. Not to witness to them, not to evangelize or to convert them. Of course, if they want to, then that's perfectly all right. But the motivation here is simply to reach out, to offer and reach out a hand which wants to serve, which wants to love. This is what I mean by reaching the world. We find a way to serve the world. We might provide an educational service. We might provide a humanitarian service. We might provide all kinds of services. They might be in the sphere of counseling, or it might be in the sphere of mentoring, or even just financial services, offering charitable donations to help provide and deliver relief in areas where it's needed. So this is what I want you to do, to accept the mission to reach the world, to create your own foundation of reaching the world and touch the hearts of many people who need the love of God. Finally, the fifth R is giving rebirth through the Holy Marriage Blessing. We are a blessing movement. One of the few things, precious, unique things that true parents have given to the world is the blessing. This is the sacrament through which we change our lineage, through which we change our identity. And indeed, True Father said that our mission now, from Peace Message number 5, your mission now is simply to educate the billions of people of the world that they are descended from the fall and they need to change their lineage through the blessing. This is evangelical, this is about witnessing, this is about converting people. But it can be done in a number of different ways. That conversion must take place in their heart. Ultimately, what I'm asking you to do is to accept the commission of reaching the world and then giving the blessing. Now, this is something we're not very good at, I'm sad to say, in our Family Federation community. It feels quite shameful to think that the Family Federation is not preparing people for the blessing. Most of the blessing results are either coming through UPF or they are coming through second generation participating in the blessing. That is a victory. It is great that our communities are preparing second generation candidates to receive the blessing, to maintain that identity and continue that lineage. But we can't keep it to ourselves. It must be shared. And we need to find our own ways of being able to give that blessing freely to the whole world, but also meaningfully, so that the people who are receiving that blessing understand its meaning and significance and are able to create a blessed family in which God and true parents can transform the people of that family and propagate a true lineage centered on true love and true life. So this is quite a big commission I'm asking you to do. These 5 things: returning joy to God, relating intimately, raising tribal leaders, reaching the world, and giving rebirth through the blessing. I think they increase in difficulty the further down the list you go. That the easiest of them all should be returning joy to God. Then relating intimately becomes harder, raising tribal leaders becomes even harder, and reaching the world and giving rebirth become even harder still. Maybe another way of looking at it is the degree of commitment I'm asking you to offer. Maybe some of you don't feel that you can commit wholeheartedly to all 5 missions. Maybe in theory, you're in principle happy to commit to all 5, but in practice you can only commit to the first 1 or 2, to relating intimately and returning joy to God. That's okay. As long as you generally subscribe to these 5 missions and do your best to fulfill them in your own way, that would make me happy. If our whole community took these commissions on board, accepted them, and said, I want to accept this mission, then that would be very exciting. We're, as I said at the beginning of this message, we're at a crisis point. And I believe the Chinese character for crisis also means opportunity. I feel like we're at a great opportunity point right now, where we, young adults, have the opportunity to take responsibility, to take ownership of our community and make something of it. And what I'm offering to you today is a strategy to make it work. That these 5 missions, to return joy to God, to relate intimately, to raise tribal leaders, to reach the world and to give rebirth through the marriage blessing, these 5 missions will be the strategy through which we can not just transform our community, our unificationist community, but actually this will be the strategy through which we can change the nation. Vision 2020 is about establishing a nation of Cheonilguk as a reality around us. And these 5 R's, these 5-letter R's, these 5 words beginning with the letter R, this is the strategy which I'm offering to you as the strategy through which we're going to build Cheonilguk. This strategy is not just coming out of the air, it's a result of a lot of homework, a spiritual journey which I have gone through, and a lot of discussion I've had with many other brothers and sisters, and it's a strategy that a lot of people are buying into. A lot of people are convinced that if we give this a go, we can make a big difference. So I hope that it's somehow been convincing for you as well. I hope that you can have a discussion about it and find a way to make this commission meaningful for you. And I welcome feedback, I welcome questions, I welcome criticism even about this mission statement, but I'm offering it to you. Please take it, please run with it, and please accept this commission and become missionaries who can do all 5 things. That you can become people who return joy to God. You can be someone who relates intimately, naturally with anybody. You become someone who can raise a tribal leader through your own example of having been victorious as a tribal leader and being able to educate and raise up other leaders. That you will be able to reach the world, that you will have your own foundation or project or capacity to reach many people through your loving service that you provide. And that fundamentally you will also be able to give rebirth by sharing the blessing with many others. If you're able to do all of those things, ultimately that will return joy to God. That you start with that primary filial intention of giving joy and love back to God, and you find ever increasing ways to do that and develop that. So thank you very much. I'm going to conclude my message now, and I'll just offer now a remote prayer. So please join me in prayer. Dear God, our Heavenly Parent, you have a desire in your heart to create Cheonilguk as a reality for all people on the earth. That we transcend our national identities, our national barriers and boundaries. That Cheonilguk can be a nation which encompasses the whole world. But we are living in this country of the United Kingdom. This is the reality of our context. And we want to do our best to transform this nation so we can offer this country to you in the year 2020 as the result of our efforts and work. But through the foundation that we can create, there's a foundation for Cheonilguk as a reality in this country. I pray, Heavenly Parent, that every single one of us will feel drawn to accept this commission, that we feel you are inviting us to accept, that we will pursue the mission of returning joy to you, of relating intimately, of raising tribal leaders, of reaching the world, and of giving a rebirth. That we will accept these missions and feel joyful and happy and privileged to be able to be these kinds of missionaries. Maybe some of us don't feel confident or comfortable yet to accept all of them with our full heart and commitment. And I pray that we can just make some small commitment, at least to loving you and to loving each other. And on that foundation, hope later to be able to commit even more. But for some of us, I feel that we are ready now to take ownership and take responsibility for this movement. That we are ready to take responsibility for this nation. And I pray that those of us here who feel that calling, who feel that desire and compulsion to offer something for the sake of this nation, that we will be able to be brave and courageous and offer our response, our affirmative response to you, that we say, yes, we accept this commission. We will do our best to be missionaries for you for the sake of Cheonilguk the owners of Chonoguk, who are ambassadors to True Parents, that we accept this commission, and that we look forward to the next 5 years, to Vision 2020, and that we have a mission, a strategy to practice true love wherever we are, in whatever context we are. I want to offer this prayer now and report in my name, Matthew Hewish, of a Blessed Central Family.
Okay, RG at the end. So maybe we can just have a couple minutes of reflection, just to pray about what Matthew said. Thank you.
Okay, if we can please rise to sing Song of the Banquet.
Good new life that once was sown within the garden's fertile soil,
please join me in offering prayer. Dearest beloved Heavenly Parent, true parents of heaven, earth and humankind, thank you so much for our national leader Matthew Heurish's message to us today. Heavenly Parent, we really want to take this responsibility, and we really want to give our whole hearts to you and really invest, even though we may have studies or we may have a lot of things on our plate with work, or many things, Heavenly Parents, are happening in our lives. I pray that we can really try our best. Heavenly Parent, we really love you so much. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us. Thank you so much for all the blessings that you've given to us. I pray all this in my name, Michael Schroeder, Blessed Central Family, Arju.
Okay, thank you very much. So even though he's not here, should we give Matthew a round of applause anyway? I think that was pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's quite inspiring, really, that Matthew has this strategy and this vision. And, I personally feel like, there's areas there that he's talked about these different, kind of commissions, these missions that he'd like to invite us to be part of. Different areas that I can fit in, that I know I'd like to be a part of. And hopefully you also, were thinking whilst he was speaking, how can I be part of this? What can I do with this kind of vision, this kind of mission statement that he's presenting to us? As I said before, and as Matthew said as well, I think Matthew's really open to listening and feedback and criticism, and really wants to know what you think, So I think it's not hard to get into contact with him, send him an email, call him, and I think we're very happy to hear from you, especially if you want to talk about things that you feel about, our movement in the UK or your own community. So yeah, I feel inspired. I hope you also feel inspired by that vision, and that there's, a lot of hope going forwards, and there's a lot to do. There's a lot of opportunity, that's like Matthew was saying, there's a lot of opportunity to do things and make things happen. And I know myself personally, I'm now getting into the world of work, looking for a job hunting. And I'm thinking, okay, when I get a job and, the 9 to 5, but what else am I doing? How else am I contributing and helping people around me, or, being part of my community, or these kind of things? How am I going deeper than just what I do day to day? So I don't know, maybe you feel like that as well, whether you're working or studying. So yeah, anyway, it's a lot to think about, and I hope it was a lot of, kind of an inspiration, food for thought for you all. Great, so just kind of rounding up now and closing. But before we do close, as I said, as Matthew was mentioning, it's kind of the last young adult service, so it's been a good run. I think for quite a number of years, starting with Robert and then Hyangi, have been running this young adult service. But I feel like it's kind of evolving, as Matthew's kind of was saying. He wants to, he feels like the importance of strengthening our community is crucial, and of trying to build fellowship through things like small groups and things, is really important for our life of faith and our community. So, anyway, I hope that you feel, you also somehow feel or connect or resonate with that, and can go back to, your own community and somehow contribute. I just want to kind of recognize some people who will be finishing, especially Hyangi. She'll be finishing now, doing her young adults ministry mission, and she's been doing it for about almost 2 years now. So maybe she can stand up. We can just give her a big round of applause and say well done. Anyway, I have first-hand experience of how hard she works, and how hard, over the last couple of years, dedicating a lot of time and effort. And I think she's done well, and I'm sure you'll agree with me that she's done a really good job. I was trying to figure out how to get to that. So anyway, I was like some weird segue to get to that recognition. Okay, so thank you, Kangi. Maybe you can, talk to her afterwards or something. And we're going to have this picnic in the park now. So it's going to be at 4 p.m. We're going to be leaving. That's 20 minutes. Okay, that's enough time. 4 p.m. we're going to be leaving to go to the park. If you want to, buy some food from Sainsbury's or from Waitrose or something and bring it, just the snacks and things, that'd be great. And hopefully you can play frisbee or something and have fun and enjoy the sunshine in Hyde Park before it gets cold and rainy. Yes. Great. So thank you so much for coming. See you all soon. Have a great week. Thank you.